AI is really just a tool for corporate people or people that are in capitalism to raise their bottom line and increase their profits. That's it. And we getting caught up in the crosshair of that because we were the ones that were actually filling these jobs in. We were the ones that were working at the checkout line in Walmart. We were the ones that were working at the restaurants, and we were the ones that were delivering food. Now you have cars that are driving themselves. You have robots on the sidewalks in Los Angeles, New York City, that are delivering food to people's houses. You have robots that are performing surgery. You have AI that is acting as therapists, giving you the perfect answer. Yeah, this is what's going on. But one thing that AI cannot do is replace the real human experience. Getting up out of bed every rising, making some tea. Yeah, you can get a robot to come and do that, but I don't want no robot in here doing that for me. Robots aren't planting my seeds outside. So you got to make a decision because right now is the beginning stages of these robots. And before you know it, they'll be on every block, not just in the cities. They'll be in the suburbs. They'll be in the less populated areas. They will be everywhere. Everywhere there's some Wi-Fi and some connection, and even maybe without Wi-Fi and connection, the robots will be everywhere. And the question is, what are you going to do to continue to feed your family? Go to war with no artillery? What are you going to do? Rob? Eat other people? Because all you got to do is go and buy you some seeds. And it's not as simple as just buying seeds. You got to get soil. You got to have a place to store some of your flower pots. If you live in a small apartment in the city, yeah, it's not as simple. But guess what? They do have alternatives and different ways that you can do to grow food upwards on a wall. It's not pretty, but neither is starving. So you got a choice to make. If you can't afford to buy any land, which I feel like you can, you just may not be able to buy it in the particular location that you're in. You may have to go to the outskirts of whatever city or whatever county or whatever state you're in. You may have to go to the outskirts of what's popular, because I'm not in the city. I'm not directly in the resort. I'm in my confines of my house in a jungle that is on the cusp of a resort or on the outskirts of a resort, right? And I'm not even in the United States. I don't really care for that. I don't really care to be on a hamster wheel or in the matrix or in a society where population is abundant and it's just a whole bunch of different problems. There's problems here too. In fact, this was one of the most dangerous countries on the planet when it comes to violence. That's not a scare tactic for me because I know that a lot of violence and a lot of murders usually take place between people that know each other or someone that knows you that may be relaying information. And I'm not even giving off that kind of vibe. But regardless, the point that I'm trying to make is you may not be able to afford a piece of land in an area that may be attractive to you. You may have to go to the less desirable areas. But so what? So long as you could continue to keep feeding your family, so long as you could continue to keep providing a house, fresh water, food from the soil, solar from the sun, that's another thing you want to consider. Is it a location that's going to be warm year round or that has a pretty good climate throughout the year that doesn't lead to freezing temperatures or snow? Because you want to be able to grow your food all year round. That's a constant. That's something that we need every day. And another thing that we need every day is the sunlight. It may be hidden behind the clouds for some days when it's raining or when it's just overcast, but the energy still seeps through enough to provide voltage to my panels every day, damn near. Unless it's just super cloudy and dark, then you may not get any voltage. But on those days, you're using less energy because you don't need any air conditioner. You don't need any fans. Now, if you cook, that's another thing. Like I said, I'm a vegetarian, so I eat a lot of vegetation, which doesn't require cooking. If I am going to cook, it's usually for a maximum of 20 minutes, and that's to heat up my quinoa. But at the end of the day, I am providing let's back up. I'm in the process of providing all of the vegetation that I need right here from this soil. I'm in a tropical location. I love coconuts. I love salads. I love fruit. I can grow just about any fruit that you think of on this land. I can grow just about any vegetable that you could think of on this land. So the main thing we want to make sure we taking care of is our food source. That's number one. Well, I should say our water source. That should be number one. Because and then it should be the food source. And then it should be your shelter. Because if you got a shelter and you don't have a food source, then what the hell are we talking about here? But if you got your food source and your water source, then we could think about building our shelter afterwards. Because we have our food intact and our intact. Now we can go ahead and build our shelter. Now, if you could do all at once like I was able to do, perfect. I took all of the money that I had and invested in this. So now I don't have any more money. All my money is tied up into this property here and to helping me grow, feed myself, some fresh water, being in a place where there aren't many planes flying or hardly any planes flying above me. So I don't have to worry about those chemicals from the chemtrails. No chemical plants over here. I don't have to worry about all that toxic waste seeping into a local water source that I'm drinking from. When you start to think about your life and the necessities that are needed in life, it makes things a lot more simple. But the addiction of food, processed foods, people, the stimulation of the matrix, the stimulation of everything that's the population of people around you, entertainment, alcohol, which is here, but major entertainment in large venues and commercial, that is an addiction in and of itself, which people really want to get away from that. But I, on the other hand, spent time away from society, so I know that that's all BS anyway. Because when you voluntarily, involuntarily, I'll say that, because when you commit a crime and you go to jail for it, you voluntarily committed that crime, but you involuntarily went to jail because the judge felt like you did something that was, and they send you to jail. So I say, when you voluntarily, involuntarily from society, that makes you look at things in a whole different light, perspective, everything. Christmas has come and gone. There's no Santa Claus. There's no lights. There's none of that shit unless you're going to the nurse or to the infirmary or something where you can see that the nurses have little decorations and ornaments. But besides that, Halloween comes and goes. You don't see any pumpkins. Thanksgiving comes and goes. You do get a special meal, but you don't see none of that shit, all that stuff that they got going on throughout the cities and everything. New Year's comes around, the ball will drop and you won't know nothing about it. It forced me to look at all of these made up holidays differently. It's all about commerce. It's all about distraction. Now you're not focused on getting to the promised land. The rainbow at the end, the pot at the end of the rainbow. This is what that is right here. As the rain come down really heavy, just started. This is what this is. This is incredible right here. The rain has come out. Mother Nature is my God. The sun, that's my God. The sun gives me energy every day. The universe, God. The rain is coming down. It's watering the mango trees, which will bear fruit in the next 3 to 6 months. It's providing source and nutrients to my gutters to give me water in my cistern. I don't even have to tap into my well water right now. It's recurring and filling the creek that borders the entire length of my property. It's giving my soil energy for my garden to grow lush. And even with those clouds out right now, I'm still can go out and show you that there's voltage going to my panels. So we're not worried about AI. We're not worried about artificial intelligence. We're not worried about job layoffs. We're not worried about if the solar or the power company hits the power button and knocks every house off the grid and there's no power. And you got to go and get candles and all types of other things. We're not worried in flashlights. We're not worried about if the municipal government hits a button and turns off the water company and threatens you to move in the direction they want you to move. And if you don't do that, we're going to keep the water off. It's already contaminated anyway, but we're going to turn it off because you're not doing what I want you to do. Listen to how powerful and how heavy that rain is coming down. That's water that's filling up my cisterns. That's water that's watering everything, cleansing. This is incredible. Now, if you put a robot out there in that rain, how long can it withstand it? If you submerge a robot in water, how long can it withstand? But we're not even worried about that. I'm sorry, I'm just getting passionate. I'm sorry, not sorry, I'm getting, you know what I mean? But anyway, man, I appreciate y'all for watching. I'm not going to go in on about this. We know that AI is here to stay until they knock out the satellites, until they just, until we get, I don't even care if we wake up today. That shit is here to stay. And with that, I appreciate y'all for tapping in. If y'all could hit that like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment as well. Let me know what y'all think. Hit that notification bell and hit all. This is See Thy Wealth, water your health. Drink a glass of water.